Good morning. Yes, it's another fine cup of coffee, and we're going to have magnificent, mind-blowing Monday. So where does one begin? Oh, shall we begin at all the nonsense? So we're going to put Exhibit A around about the 3:30 mark. You'll hear where Phil McConnell states that his sister, this is in September the 11th, 2011, created the Senior Executive Service. His words. Where did he get those words? He got those from David Hawkins. Exhibit B is meets Phil's sister, Christine Marcy, sister Abel, brother Cain. Okay? Cain killed Abel, if I remember rightly. But, yeah. So, this says that 1979, founder and de facto president of the Senior Executive Service. Oh, didn't realise they had a president of that. Okay, fair enough. I have another one here, Exhibit C, which is the Christine Marcy Nee McConnell, which is actually written in another documentation. Exhibit D. So we are A, B, C, and we're on Exhibit D now. The connection of Christine Marcy, SPA, 8A, OPM, SES, SOS, HSBC, FCI, written by David Hawkins, Vancouver, BC. So second line down. She is joined at the hip to the charter members of the SES because they all had to be cleared for that position in 1979 by the Office of Personnel Management, where she was Assistant Director. So, stating in that sentence, he's implying that Christine Marcy was the Assistant Director of the Office of Personnel Management in 1979. Want you to remember this. Take a mental note of this. So, Exhibit E. This one I would like you to go to 24 minutes and 20 seconds and listen to where he states, to the Senior Executive Service, I believe my sister was asked by George H.W. Bush and Jimmy Carter in 1978. They asked her to create something called the Senior Executive Service. Here's where I need to turn it over to Kevin. Right, so this is where Kevin Shipp and Phil McConnell are spouting a load of nonsense, insinuating that I'm a brain fart, and that Kevin Shipp in this one insinuates that I'm actually an operative because Warsaw is the capital in the world of spying, even though I bumped into Jack Posobiec because he was there getting married, and the guy in the green t-shirt, if you do watch it further at the 50-minute mark, I believe it is, the guy in the green t-shirt is actually Jack Posobiec's father. He's not somebody from the Illuminati, as Mr. Goodman tries to insinuate. Another example of F, where they're talking about Christine Marcy again, the same nonsense repeated over and over again. And recent up-to-date one where David Hawkins explores the dawn of Able Dangerous social engineering sandbox. Here again, he attacks Christine Marcy, accusing her of various crimes, including JPATs, which I have proven beyond shadow of doubt she couldn't have done. So, are you all there? We got to that lot of evidence there. So that's evidence A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay? So now what we're going to do, we're going to give you the real evidence. So in the first one, they talk about looking for Christine Marcy on a Wikipedia page. So I thought, wow, she's got a Wikipedia page. So I went to Wikipedia, typed in her name. There's no Wikipedia page for her. The page Christine Marcy does not exist. You can ask for it to be created, so it doesn't exist. Okay? So that's Exhibit 1. Exhibit 2. Our mission, role, and history. Agency leader Alan K. Campbell, Director of the Office of Personnel Management, January 2nd, 1979 to January the 20th, 1981. I want to go down a little bit. Nominated by President Carter to be Civil Service Commissioner April 5th, 1977. Confirmed by the Senate May 5th, 1977. This is documented fact. You can check it all over the place. And if you don't believe that, then you can go to the Jimmy Carter Library, which I have, and the documentation PDF, which I will link below as well. You can go through it yourself. This will be evidence 3. And evidence 3, you will see all the names of the people involved in the creation of not only the Civil Service Reform Act, but also, believe it or not, the Senior Executive Service, which was the creation of Alan K. Campbell, Jimmy Carter, Neil Sugarman, Lazarus. All the names are there, apart from one. One name is missing from that list, and that's Christine Marcy. I will put another one on page 7. Goals of the SES. So, Exhibit 4. One of the major goals of the SES was to strengthen the link between civil service and the politically appointed heads of the agencies, as Alan Scotty Campbell, then chairman of the Civil Service Commission, who had an integral role in establishing the SES, stated, "We could see the dysfunctional effects of career-non-career interface. The SES was intended to create a stronger and smoother link between political appointees and career civil servants, both during presidential transition periods and for the duration of administration." So, there it is. Again, a different one. The Senior Executive Service Background and Options for Reform. Page 7. And this actual documentation that I'm reading from was created on September the 6th, 2012. On page 5 of 8 on Exhibit 5, page 5, Exhibit 5, Carter appointed Alan Scotty Campbell, Dean of the Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs at Syracuse University, one of the nation's most respected and knowledgeable experts on government and one of the most engaging and inspiring officials with whom I worked in 4 years as President Carter's chief domestic blah 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 blah. The determining reports he attached initially stressed in the first State of the Union address on January 19th, 1978, calling it absolutely vital. So President Carter was the driving force behind the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978. Now, we go back to evidence D, where Hawkins states that Christine Marcy was the assistant director. Do you remember that one? Well, Washington Post, not the Washington Post, but anyway, July the 5th, 25th, 1979, nominations of Alan K. Campbell to be Director of the Office of Personnel Management, nomination of Jules M. Sugarman to be Deputy Director of the Office of Personnel Management, printed for the use of the Committee on Government Affairs. Oh. So this shows the actual nominations of Alan Campbell and Yul Sugarman. No Christine Marcy there. Oh dear. So that's evidence 6, which shows that she wasn't any assistant director of the Office of Personnel Management. She was an assistant director in 1979 of the Labour and Veterans Affairs in 1979. If you want me to put that up, I can dig it out if you don't, but trust me, you can find it. It's there. As she was one of 6,000 that left from supergrade to become the Senior Executive Service. And it was voluntary in 1979, in July. And she'd only been supergrade since, I think, 78. Or 79. 79, 78. Either late 78 or early 79. She became supergrade after years and years of pushing for it. So, let's go to evidence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Evidence 7, which is the Washington Post, written in 1979. Obviously, the new Office of Personnel and Officials, Campbell, Director Alan Campbell, Sugarman, Deputy Director Yul Sugarman, have new and different ideas. There you have a Washington Post article, which you can read for yourself. July the 5th, 1979. And of course, evidence 8. Evidence 8 is the interesting one because that's actually Christine Marcy, in her own words. Christine Marcy never intended to make a career in government, but she met some life-changing mentors at a federal internship in 1967. not 69. McConnell says she was there in 69. She joined in 67. She did 34 years, left in 2001. I will link that below. There is a nice tape meeting there. You can actually hear her talking. You actually hear Christine Markley talking. And this interview was done August the 15th, 2018. She's not in hiding. She's not running. And she talks about her career. Isn't that funny? So, what am I doing here? What I'm doing is I'm giving you their evidence, which has nothing to back it up with, and then I give you the actual evidence, which I could back up. Now, it would be nice to see McConnell go down and this waste of whatever. I mean, the best part of this Timmy Homestuck is run down the crack of his mother's arse, in my opinion. He's a vile little rodent who cannot write his own material because the material he's using on Joan Bunny Ramsey's murder comes from the original purveyor of the perverse and the creator of Able Danger site, not the Able Danger security thing, which was with Colonel Tony Schaefer, but with this von Hawkins Munchausen bovine excrementus extraordinaire, Walter Mitty Hawkins, is the guy behind all of it. For all those people that have been attacked and smeared by these bizarre paedophile murder claims and everything else, there's your root cause. And if you really want to claim victory, you got to take this man down and expose him. He needs to be exposed, which is what I'm doing. Been doing it for quite some time. I've been attacked, smeared, labelled, browbeaten. And trust me, this stuff destroys your soul after a while, having to go through their nonsense day in, day out, just picking through all of it. It really is soul destroying. So I'm going to take a few days out because I need a break, because it's getting to me and I'm getting quite angry about it. Be having to deal with this over and over again when the evidence is so categorically there, and a vile little rodent living in New York calls me and says, well, we've got no evidence, when Warsaw Kevin declares war on Able Danger, gave him evidence of Alan K. Scotty Campbell, and yet this guy still persists in lying to the point now of trying to engineer a new story, a new spin to it. This is social engineering in action, what is happening on CS the BS. Why one Jason Goodman is actually creating social engineering. And it's time we stopped all of this nonsense, put the truth out there, and got these fraudsters, these con men, these con artists, and shut them down. Shut them all down. Save the internet. Save people's sanity. Save us from having to listen to this dribble. I know, rant, I'm sorry. I'm emotionally drained with all this at the moment. So, that's what I need.